Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another SandStorm meetup. Today, I am joined by Danny Green from the MeebitsDAO. How are you doing?
I'm good. What's up, GM?
Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another. I really appreciate you. By Danny Green from the MeebitsDAO. How are you doing?
I'm good. What's up, GM?
Am I getting an echo? What is that?
My bad.
Oh, nice.
See, I already messed things up. I'm here for 2 seconds, and already I have the YouTube stream up, and it's just totally echoing us. So
No, you're fine. You're fine. Hey, I like the Meeba you got going there.
Thank you. Yes. So this is Larry Bitbird. Shout out Larry Bitbird. We basically created a Snap AR lens that you can use your Meebit in the wild by using the Snapchat app on your camera, or you can use Snap Desktop and kind of stay anon and use one of 6 different Meebits that we built this lens for.
Awesome. Yeah, we're gonna get into all of that later on in the show. I think you're like the second or third person I've talked on here that's had like an AR filter. I think it's so cool. So I appreciate you coming on like that.
Yeah, well, if anybody's not familiar with Meebits, right now you get a little sense of what they look like.
Yeah. Usually like to start out with a little bit of introduction. I guess, a little bit about the team, how you guys came together, and just a little bit about the project for anyone watching that might not know about the MeebitsDAO.
Cool. Yeah, well, so MeebitsDAO is a community-run organization, a decentralized autonomous organization that came out of the Meebits NFT collection. So let's start by kind of talking about Meebits, and then we'll kind of talk about the DAO. So if you're not familiar with Meebits, it's a 20,000 NFT collection, avatar collection, PFP collection. It's created by Larva Labs, which created CryptoPunks. So there were 20,000 Meebits, 10,000 went to CryptoPunk holders, and the other 10,000 were sold on the public market. And the idea behind Meebits is that they were metaverse ready, right? It's the first 3D voxel character that you could use as your avatar in the metaverse. And that's a pretty cool promise, right? Most of the PFP projects that we've seen out there, they're, kind of from the waist up, they're kind of 2D images, right? So really designing an entire collection that was 3D in nature and could become your avatar for the metaverse. It's kind of very forward looking, right? It was very early in creating that. The collection launched just about a year ago, so last May 3rd of 2021.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what Meebits are. This past April, Larva Labs sold Meebits to Yuga Labs, and we can talk more about that. Yuga Labs, the owner and creator of Bored Ape Yacht Club. So we can talk more about that in a little bit. But in terms of the DAO, basically a group of Meebit holders came together to say, we really love this promise that this becomes your avatar for the metaverse, but a lot needs to happen for that to actually take place. And let's form a DAO. Let's actually work together with Larva Labs and independently to help create this utility for Meebits. And in the process, really help to build and foster the open metaverse. The interoperable open metaverse where you could use your NFTs between different games and experiences, and it's not in kind of siloed, contained experiences. And so that's the mission. That's the mission of the DAO, is to build and foster the open interoperable metaverse, and we use Meebits as the tool to do so.
Nice. So basically, Larva Labs created this collection, 20,000, and they were 3D characters that could be metaverse ready, but you could not use them in a metaverse essentially. And you guys are trying to, get into different metaverses, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So, when it launched, it was really just, here's a voxel file, right? Here's a, .vox, which is pretty limited in its scope in terms of being able for gameplay. And so one of the first things that the DAO did was to create different file formats for each Meebit. So we created an FBX file, a GLB file, a VRM file, and this is kind of technical, but it really just what the point is that basically, when you're in Sandbox, it's not the same as when you're in Decentraland, right?
Yeah.
Like that, and it's not the same that when you're in an AR application or a web XR application or anything else, right? And so you actually need different file formats depending on what metaverse experience you're in. And so the first thing we did was to create all those various file formats and to give them to owners as an owner download. And then the second thing we did was to create an API that allows any developer who's building a virtual land, virtual world, or a game to be able to give Meebit owners the ability to use their Meebit in that virtual land with a signature-based permission by connecting their wallet.
Nice. And are you guys currently integrated in any metaverses?
Yeah, there's like 25 or so that we're kind of already in process at some level of development within. And so, we're here in Sandbox right now. So let's talk about Sandbox because that's really important, right?
Yeah.
You can, so the rigging, right, for avatars is very specific to the land, which means that there's like a bone structure in your avatar. And the bone structure kind of has to be adjusted, what they call rigged, for every single metaverse land. And so you can do it yourself right now, to kind of take your Meebit and put it into Sandbox. But we're actually in process of doing all 20,000 and making it really easy for any Meebit owner right now to get into Sandbox.
Nice. Awesome. And I correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like nobody else is really doing something like this, like, yeah, there's projects out there that are like, oh, we're going to either build our own metaverse or like, we're going to be either in the Sandbox or Decentraland. But I feel like there's not really a project out there that touches and is trying to get into every single metaverse. So
yeah, no, I mean, I think that it is, I think we're the first mover in this way. I think that over time, the successful NFT projects will, have different file formats and be able to be present in a lot of places. But that's our mission, right? Like that's what I'm solely focused on right now. And so I'm in contact, every time I hear about a new metaverse experience, I'm like, hey, how can we get involved? How can we get into what you guys are doing? How can we be one of your launch partners? And I'll talk about a few others right now. Hey, I see a Meebit right there on the wall right now in the Sandbox.
Yeah.
So this is how far we're even going with it. So have you heard of World Wide Web 3?
Yes.
It's like a pixel-based game, right?
Yeah.
So, in Sandbox right now, we're kind of in a voxel 3D world. They've kind of gone the opposite direction by like going back to like the 80s and 90s, like pixel, games, which to me represents a huge branch of the metaverse, right? The metaverse is going to be all these different things. And we can talk about all those different things. Oh, here we go. You get a great example here of a pixel. Yeah. So what we've done is we've taken our 3D voxel characters and we're now recreating the entire collection, all 20,000 characters, as pixel Meebits. And so it's really a recreation. And then we're going to be able to be in that game, in the Webiverse game, as pixel Meebits, as opposed to just as voxel characters. And so, even when it takes, the recreation of the entire collection, like we'll take that step in order to kind of be present in that metaverse experience.
Nice. And will the pixel Meebits, will they be like claimable or will they be airdropped to holders?
It's not going to be a separate NFT. It's basically an owner download. And the way it works is in the sprite sheet is what they call it, right? Where you basically create, 4 different directions, like going up, going down, going left, going right, or north, south, east, west. And then, various different stages of like where your arms are, right? So it's like, in order to create a sprite sheet that then they kind of like a flip book, you can kind of use to create walking motions like this. So if you break this down, there's actually like, I think 6 or 8 different movements in kind of the walking motion. And so that sprite sheet is going to be an owner download. And it's specifically being designed for Web3, World Wide Web, so that we can integrate directly into that game and a Meebit owner can use their wallet and play with their Meebit in the game.
Nice. And I guess something that just a little bit of a history question. I don't know how long you've been with the MeebitsDAO. But I guess like how did it form? Like, how did you go from just Meebit community members to like, hey, let's make a whole organization where we can vote on things?
Totally. Yeah. So it formed because a guy named Kai, who's been around, he was like an early CryptoKitties guy.
Yeah.
He's been around since 2017 in the NFT space, very early on. He was working at Netflix at the time, but always keeping his eyes on what was going on in NFTs and in Web3, and started to really think about the metaverse and kind of, what is it going to look like to actually have an avatar that can be interoperable. And as he's kind of thinking about that, Meebits dropped, and he was like, "Wait, this is exactly what I was kind of like imagining, but how do we get there? Like, what is the steps to get there?" And also kind of in the beginning, in the middle of last year, like DAOs were really coming on the scene and becoming a much more popular thing. And so that was the idea, is like, wait, let's try. We've never formed a DAO. Let's form a DAO. Let's do it with Meebit holders, and let's create a whole governance structure around it. And so the way that we created this interesting governance structure in the DAO. So there's 200 founders of the MeebitsDAO, and it really started with them. They each contributed 1 ETH to the treasury of the DAO to get it off the ground. And it's capped at 200 founders, right? There's never going to be more than 200 founders. And right now we actually have 180. There's 20 spots that are still available to people. And the founders are the ones who have voting power in the DAO. Like, they're the ones who can actually vote on proposals, submit proposals, and all of that. We then opened up to general membership, which was for 0.05 ETH, a general membership token. Anybody can join, whether you had a Meebit or you didn't have a Meebit. You could still join the MeebitsDAO and help to support our mission of building the interoperable metaverse. And so we now have about 3,400 general members in the DAO, and they don't have voting power, but what they are able to do is actually choose a delegate, one of the founders as one of their delegates, and help to increase their voting power. And that's through a monthly ERC20 token called an MVOX. You get to claim a new MVOX every month and choose a delegate, choose a founder to delegate your MVOX to, and that increases their voting power. So it becomes a representative model for voting in the whole system.
Yeah. So you have the MVOX token that it's just a voting token. There's no people can't buy more of them.
Yeah, I mean, we don't sell them. I mean, it's always possible that someone creates a liquidity pool on Uniswap or SushiSwap, and that there becomes a market for it. The supply at this moment is pretty low because it's just one. You can only claim one per month for all the members. So, I don't know. There's probably 5,000 or so, no more than that.
I was gonna say someone could go and buy I guess 10 years worth of them and then delegate it to one person. They'd have a lot of voting power. But
yeah, totally. Yeah, we're putting some caps on that because even as we're beginning to look at it, it looks like Kai, who I mentioned, who started the DAO, right? A lot of people have a lot of trust in his decision making because he's the one who kind of got things off the ground, and so a lot of people delegated their MVOX to him. At the end of the day, though, we don't want to have one person who's has the entire voting power and can make all the decisions. We want to have some sort of parity. So, we're going to cap the voting power at some level, and then you'll have to delegate to somebody else.
Nice. And you said, only one of the 200 founders can propose something that could be voted on. So say, a new metaverse pops up and there's someone that's, one of the founders like, hey, we should be in this. They propose a vote. You guys hold a vote and decide if you want to go in there or not.
Yeah. So the votes really have to do with how we spend our treasury dollars, right? It's really about fiscal responsibility. We also have other votes that are key to the, the community around, management of Discord or, electing a steering committee or things like that. In terms of kind of like whether or not we're, who we're going to partner with, what the DAO has done is hire me as the general manager. So I'm a full-time employee of the DAO. I'm actually not one of the founders. I'm a hired gun, and it's my job to help tell this story about Meebits, and to build partnerships, and to product manage, basically. So to develop our product strategy, and then to manage all of the development projects that we have underway.
Nice. And then I guess let's move on. Let's talk about, what we're looking at here, the Snapchat filter, the augmented reality that you got going on. Currently, there's 6 different Meebits available. Like you said, if you wanted to use it on either Zoom or, we're using StreamYard right now. You just on your webcam, or even on Snapchat.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah. Currently 6 available. How did you go about picking, I guess, the 6? Like, whose Meebits are the 6?
Sure. Well, let me introduce the 6. So we got this guy. This is like Run J's Meebit. We got the 3D glasses. We have some female Meebits as well. Here's cool hat we got going on here. I actually used to own that Meebit. Larry Bitbird, another cool one, and I like this one. There's actually a full body filter as well. So let me back up, and you can see the whole look I got going on right now. Welcome to my apartment in Santa Monica, by the way. Here's this one. Let's go. We want to play a little basketball. We can play with Larry Bitbird. We can play some basketball, shoot some hoops, or Run Jay here. Oh, I love this shirt. Let's show off this shirt. This is the ghost tee. So these are 6 different Meebits. I'll do Run Jay for now. Let me be Run Jay. All right. So right now I'm actually just playing in the Snap Camera app, and toggling between the different Meebits. And how do we choose these? We did it basically kind of like popularity contest. We put out on Twitter that we're going to be building this Snapchat AR lens, and we need to pick 5 or 6 Meebits to participate. And said, why should we pick your Meebit? And people posted their Meebits. And I was really hoping for diversity in the collection, in this collection. And actually, let me back up. So one of the things that I think is so special about the Meebits collection is it was designed with diversity in mind, right? Yeah. So it's representative. It has both genders. So it has male and female Meebits, and some genderless Meebits, shall we say, or kind of genderqueer Meebits. And it also has various different skin colors as well. And so, whoever you are, there's the opportunity to kind of find a Meebit that kind of represents you, or that looks like you, or who you want to how you want to represent yourself and your digital identity in the metaverse. And I think that that's really cool and really important as we think about kind of the values that we're creating for the metaverse, in addition to just like the technology challenges that we have. And so when we're building a Snapchat AR lens, and we're literally creating something that's going to go over our faces on Zoom and on Google Meet, like all the more important that it's representative in nature. And so, I was like, maybe I'll sway the vote a little bit in order to make sure that we have like some male and some female and different like skin colors. And I literally didn't have to do that at all. Like, these were the top votes. Like, these are the Meebits that got the top votes, and it just kind of represents, I think, our collection and our community, and that to me was pretty special.
Yeah, no, that's cool, because I agree. That was the first thing I noticed. Like, when you came on here and all the different ones, I was like, there's everyone can be included. And that was something I was going to ask. Right now you have 6 available. Do you guys plan on, I guess, expanding on that? I know, there's also limitations with Snapchat. I don't really know what all they allow, but it'd be cool one day to be able to see people be able to use their NFT, their own personal NFT, on AR filters and Snapchat and Instagram.
Yeah, totally. Like that. So the long-term vision, of course, is being able to, in the same way that you can like log into a webiverse and use to a metaverse and use your Meebit in that metaverse, like we would love to be able to have a signature based permission so that anybody can use their Meebit as a Snap AR lens or something like that. That's the long term vision. But there's technological challenges involved in that, right? We talked about kind of specific rigging and everything that needs to take place. And so right now we started with 6 that are available for anyone, whether you hold a Meebit or not. If you have a Meebit that you want to build out, like we can add additional ones for a cost. And so there's always the opportunity to kind of add additional ones in the future, kind of on a one-off basis.
Nice. Yeah. And then I guess immediately, as soon as you did the full body one, the first thing I thought about was VR chat.
Yeah.
Like I guess it's a game. I don't know. I've seen videos on it. I've seen people obviously get in VR chat. Are you able to use your Meebit in VR chat?
Definitely.
Nice,
yes.
Nice.
Yeah. Fully that's one of the 25 that I mentioned, like that you can use your Meebit in. And I just got a MetaQuest 2 like last week, and I'm excited to give it a spin and start playing out in VR. Do you do VR? Sure.
I've tried out VR. I don't own like a VR headset. I've definitely tried them out, but I want to get like either a MetaQuest or just one of the new ones. My friend had one of the new ones, and they've definitely advanced from like when I first did it, because when I first did it, it was years ago, and you had to be like wired up to like the computer, and it was all like, you were stuck in a stationary spot. And now it's like wireless. Like we were chilling in his living room and like had a VR headset on, and
Yeah, I mean, the technology's come a long way, and definitely when I first put it on, and I was like, where do I plug it in? And it's like, no, it actually is like a self-contained computer, right? Like,
yeah. It's amazing.
It's like a Game Boy going back, or and the thing about the MetaQuest is you still got to go through Facebook, right? You got to like log in with your Facebook login, and I think us in Web3 were a little concerned, and us are thinking about creating the open metaverse and kind of getting out of siloed walled gardens. That's a little bit of a challenge, but it's a good price point for the product for sure, and like the quality of the hardware is really, really outstanding. So that's what I got. I bit the bullet.
Yeah, but I do think, I think years from now, like 5 to 10 years, I think VR and just AR and all that are going to be far more advanced than I think that we think it'll be.
Yeah, I mean, there's incredible strides being made, right? Every 5 years represents such a technological advance. I like to talk about, okay, what is the metaverse? And in simple terms, right, you can kind of think about 3 different things that all come together, right? There's virtual worlds, right? We've been watching, your social hub in Sandbox, and Sandbox represents a virtual world.
Yeah.
Kind of that like MMORPG kind of idea. You have augmented reality, where you're kind of interacting with digital items in a physical IRL space. Pokemon Go being one of the biggest examples of that. And then virtual reality, where it's a 3D immersive experience, right? Which often requires a headset. And so things are, kind of, you can break things up into these 3 different categories. Sometimes these categories can overlap and come together. WebXR is a good example, where you can be both like on your computer or in a VR headset and experience the same space. I think that VR is like, it's obviously the farthest away from us on some level, right? It is the thing that's going to take the most development over time. And I think that AR, we're going to see a lot more applications in AR in the near term. And yeah, we're really excited about that.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, and like you said, we already saw it with Pokemon Go. I mean, I remember it was like 2016, 2017, like just seeing videos of crowds of people being in one area because they're like, dude, there's a Dratini here, and like I gotta go capture this Pokemon. And like, imagine you could have AR glasses where you put them on and just different things are like popping up, ads or whatever. I know nobody likes ads, but big companies like money, but I'm saying like different things like that. I could just see AR, like you said, being far more advanced than wearing a headset in your room and you're just sitting there like on a headset in your room.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we got phones, so you don't even necessarily need, other sorts of headsets right now.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
So, did you ever play Pokemon Go with your phone?
I did. Yeah,
Yeah. Right. Like, it's like,
yeah,
it was like, wait, this is so simple. This is so easy. I can see things that are like right in front of me, which I
yeah.
thought was so fun. We're partnered with Jadu. I don't know if you've heard of Jadu. You should have them on the show. They're fantastic. They started by creating jetpacks. And you can even, I've seen the jetpacks in Sandbox even. And then they released hoverboards. And now they're going to be releasing their own avatars. And they're building what they call the Mirrorverse, which is kind of an AR metaverse experience. And there, you can integrate. Meebits can basically use the jetpacks, or Meebits can use the hoverboards in their virtual spaces and the AR experience. And so, like, you'll literally see, in Times Square or whatever, a Meebit, a video of a Meebit like taking off with a jetpack, through Jadu, and that's one of the things that I just think is so cool. Like, again, interoperability, bringing in different NFT collections into the same experience. And yet doing so in kind of that augmented reality, IRL digital space coming together.
Yeah, no, yeah, I agree. I definitely think bridging of a bunch of different projects is kind of a challenge for a lot of people, because right now, a lot of the projects that we talk to, like, yeah, they're building within themselves, and it's like for their holders and only their holders. And I think, like you said, like a Meebit riding a Jadu hoverboard is like what we need to see, or a Bored Ape inside of the Sandbox is like what we need to see. We don't need to see like separated stuff, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's on our Twitter feed is like a really cool video of this if you go back a little while. So maybe we'll find it and bring it back up onto the screen here.
Yeah. Next thing I want to talk to you about is, I'm kind of just going through the roadmap, is Meebits merch. You guys come out with any merchandise?
Yeah, so that's cool. That was one of the proposals that got passed pretty early on. And doing merch right takes time, right? It's like, yeah, sure, it's easy to, here we go, right? It's easy to throw a logo on a t-shirt, but we want this to be special. So here's a logo on a t-shirt, but there's all these extra things that actually come around this. So first off, what we did is we've taken the clothing that the Meebits wear in the collection and we've turned that into physical merch, right? And so it's not, so you can now dress as your Meebit in real life, which is kind of fun. Yeah. But the other thing that makes this, I think, different, and I've never seen any other merch drop do this, is that when you buy this IRL t-shirt, Meebit t-shirt, you're also going to get a decentralized wearable of the same t-shirt. We're going to airdrop that to you, to your wallet. So it's basically 2 for 1, right? You get the physical and the digital when you buy one thing.
Wow, that's actually really cool. So you could buy this shirt, and then I guess there could be a voxel version of it in Sandbox that you could wear on your Meebit.
We haven't built out the Sandbox version, so we started just with Decentraland. Yeah. Again, they're kind of a different look. And maybe in the future we'll take that collection and turn it also into a Sandbox wearable. But for now, it's a Decentraland wearable. I think there's another picture of it, the Decentraland character wearing that Hearts tee. Yeah. So if we find that.
No, that's awesome. I like that.
So yeah, the merch is coming. So it's in production right now. We're making all the shirts. Probably within a month or so, they'll be available for sale.
You have any other merchandise plans? Like, I guess collectibles? I could see like a Meebit, like Funko Pop type thing.
That would be super cool. Yeah. So, one thing, this is the example of the t-shirt in Decentraland that you'll be able to wear. on other avatars. Basically, dress your avatars like your Meebit.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
So you can 3D print your Meebits, which is really cool, using a 3D printer either that you own or through a service called Shapeways. And it's pretty easy. We've created a downloadable voxel file that's specifically for 3D printing. It has a base that it stands on. And Larva Labs wrote out directions for how to do this. It costs about $135 or so for a 4-inch tall model. And so those are super cool. I'm really excited to see more people do 3D printing of their Meebits. Here's a great example.
Yeah.
Perfect. And there seems to be one giant one in the back. I don't know that. That's an impressive 3D printing right there. Or maybe everything else is just really teeny. But yeah, that's an impressive collection right there of printed Meebits. Yeah, and they're just so cool, right? Like there's such good vibes in this collection. Yeah, I mean, I would love to do Funko Pop. I would say that the majority of my focus is really on immersive digital experiences rather than physical. So like people want to support the brand, they want to like rep the merch. And so I thought that was important to do. And I thought it was so cool to create merch that really looks like Meebit merch, right? Like that Meebits wear, all the fits that the Meebits are wearing, like work so well as clothing that you would want to wear in real life. And so that just made total sense to me. But the majority of our efforts are really on kind of the metaverse play, right? Like, and fulfilling on this mission of helping to foster and create the open metaverse.
Nice. And that'll be a good way for us to transition back into talking about Sandbox.
Cool.
Do you guys own, I guess, any land? Do MeebitsDAO own land in the Sandbox?
Yeah, we have 2 different plots. We have a 2x2 and a 3x3 that have been, they're either on loan to us or have been given to us by different founders who are part of the MeebitsDAO. I don't know if they realized how valuable it was going to be when they when they did that. We haven't built it out yet. We haven't built it out yet, and maybe we don't really know exactly what it's going to be. I think that there's a little bit of like wait and see to see how kind of Sandbox continues to evolve and what we want that Meebit land experience to be. So it's not my top priority right now, but it's like an asset that we're sitting on that, like, when it becomes clear, then I think we can build something really cool on it.
Nice. I mean, I think it's a good idea considering like Sandbox is they're about to come out with Alpha Season 3. And there's a lot of stuff that's up in the air on what you can even do in Sandbox. And I know a lot of people are building in it currently, and there's stuff that they're limited by, and it could be good to wait and see what you can do and what you want to do.
Why do you think that Sandbox achieved the level of popularity and like hype that it has?
Honestly, I mean, I think that it still has room to grow. As like the full game comes out, depending on what the experiences are like, I just look at games like Minecraft and Roblox and how huge those games are.
Yeah.
And I just think that, if the Sandbox rolls out and everyone is able to play it and play it smoothly and the experiences are fun, I just think it's simple, versus like Decentraland. Like, I mean, I can't build in either of them, but if you tell someone build me something in Decentraland versus build me something in Sandbox, they're going to be more likely be able to build something in Sandbox because it's voxel and it's going to be easier.
Yeah.
And also I think the younger generation, I think, is going to gravitate more towards the simplicity of it.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited to see, first of all, I want to go to this dance party that is being displayed right now. Can I go to that club? And then second, I mean, I think it's really going to be like, where are the coolest quests? Where is the best gameplay? Like, where is the most creativity being exhibited? And it's not just going to be one thing, right? There's going to be many different platforms that are out there. You know, we're talking to a really cool new platform called Glowstick right now. That's going to be building. In some ways, it's much more of like a world builder, almost like a SimCity kind of experience. And then I also even heard of like a Minecraft kind of for Web3, like that's really designed like very, very similar to Minecraft, but like designed with Web3 in mind. And I'm just really excited to see all of the things that are being built. And we're just still at such an early stage right now.
Yeah, no, yeah, I agree. And someone in chat said the way they roll out in phases is better, which I do agree. Yeah, I mean, if they just put out the whole thing like, here you go, and everyone was able to play it and things were crashing, then, it would just be a down bad situation. And people have short attention spans, and people have, they move on quickly. But
yeah,
I don't know. I think the Sandbox, I think if they can captivate like those Minecraft YouTubers and like the Roblox YouTubers and stuff and get them playing it, and everyone sees their favorite YouTuber or something, at least trying it out or playing the experience, or if they have a land on there, they'll definitely be like, oh, what? I want to go play on Dream's land, or I want to go play on this guy's land. And yeah, I think we'll see that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Well, I there's so much to explore. There's so much to learn. And, I definitely want to learn from the community here, that's building and playing in Sandbox. And, if you guys have ideas for what we should do with our Meebits plots of land, like please put them in the chat or get in contact with me. I'd love to hear what ideas you guys got.
Nice. There you go, Stream. Hit them with the ideas. Okay, so the next thing, that there was a couple of things on the roadmap that I had no idea. Like, what is blocks? You just said blocks and there was like a door. What does that mean?
What is blocks in the door? Yeah, so blocks is another kind of metaverse experience. Okay. It's the website is JoinBlocks, joinblocks.com, and they're also kind of JoinBlocks on Twitter. And what they're building is it's really community centric, right? So we're creating kind of Meeb Town, and there's a central plaza, and you have rooms where you can kind of display your NFTs off of the central plaza, and then as your community grows, you kind of create more and more plazas, and the whole thing is allows for chat and video chat and audio chat, and it's a very cool experience. So, it's a way for you kind of to connect as a NFT community, or any type of community, kind of in your own centralized metaverse space. And again, people can have their own land, or you can kind of gather in a central space and use it for video chat and audio chat. We're doing a land drop with them, a land sale of just 48 parcels. So again, keeping it really, really small. 48 parcels for Meebit Town. That's going to be happening next Wednesday.
Oh, wow. And how much per parcel?
0.05 ETH. So yeah, super affordable. Again, we want to make this really community driven. It kind of becomes its own mini DAO, right? It's community run entirely. Any decisions that get made kind of for that space. And also half of the money that is being generated from the sale of that land goes back to the DAO as well. So, we are, benefiting from that, that we can then reinvest in kind of future Meebit development and utility.
Nice. And then Apex Mix in the chat wanted to know if there's any plans for, there you go, filters for Instagram or TikTok.
Yeah, good question. We haven't really done anything with TikTok yet. Haven't heard much from our community, like requesting it. On some level, I'm interested to see if Yuga Labs kind of leans into kind of that platform to continue to kind of create brand awareness, and, to connect with different influencers on there to kind of highlight some of their collections. Here's Jadu. This is a perfect example. Sorry, this is a bit of a tangent, but like we were talking earlier about the AR use of Meebits and Jadu. So this is the video of using the jetpack.
Yeah.
In terms of Instagram, yeah, that would be super cool to create lenses there as well. I've seen a few things, but we haven't really invested in it as much. But yeah, I'd totally be interested in it for sure.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because Instagram's rolling out like a bunch of NFT stuff soon.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this week, right? So now they did some sort of NFT integration, and they're doing it with Ethereum and Polygon, and then expanding to Solana and Flow as well. And so, we knew it was coming. Like they've been talking about it for a while, and I'm interested to see what that experience is going to be like.
they need to figure out how to get the scams off of there, because the only NFT stuff I see on Instagram is some random project, and it'll be like Gary V backs this project. I'm like, dude, why is this being promoted on my Instagram? Why am I seeing this?
Yeah. It's so funny. Since I got involved in Web3 about a year or so ago, I stopped using Instagram.
Yeah.
I became so like invested in NFT Twitter and Discord that I just stopped using Instagram.
Yeah.
And
NFTs have definitely brought Twitter back to life for sure.
I mean, in our own little way. Again, I think we always think that the NFT community is bigger than it is, right? Like in the grand scheme of like Twitter users, we're still just a small corner of it. But it definitely, I didn't really have a use for Twitter before, and now I can't, go a couple of hours without checking. So, it definitely has become an incredible discovery and communications platform for me in this space.
Yeah, well, I was talking to my friend about this because, I used to be a professional Call of Duty player. So before NFTs, all my Twitter was about like professional gaming and, YouTubers and Twitch streamers. And really it just became a platform where people were just promoting stuff. It was like, hey, I'm on the box of Wheaties, buy Wheaties, check it out. I'm like, all right, cool, Ninja, no one cares. And I got into the NFT space, and like I started, like I would follow people I would join an NFT project, and a bunch of those holders would like be like, yo, dude, welcome. And like I would follow a bunch of holders, and I'm like, it's so cool that through just an NFT, like it's connecting people. Like it gives use to Twitter for someone that has 100 followers. Like before it was like, you have 100 followers, like who are you tweeting at? But now like you're tweeting at a community, and like you're growing through these different communities. And I see like it giving more of a voice to people rather than just the big brands or people that are just promoting stuff. Like NFT Twitter is funny. There's some funny people out there for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And insightful, right? Like I also learn a ton. All right, you just dropped that you used to play Call of Duty, so we now got to talk about that for a second. So, were you like a Twitch streamer? Were you like an esports kind of competitive player?
I was both. So yeah, since 2009, I've been like traveling to tournaments and stuff like that.
Cool.
And so I don't know if you ever heard of Team Caliber. I used to play for them.
That's awesome.
And I've been doing that. Well, I did that for years, and then stopped playing maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay.
Started doing streaming and YouTube, things like that. Yeah.
So, my background, like before I got into Web3 and stuff, I was a consultant for a couple of years on Call of Duty, and helped to launch Black Ops 3. And do you ever see, like around the launch, do you ever see Race to Prestige, which was kind of like we put on this week-long like live stream marathon of playing the game, right? 24 hours a day, to raise money for veterans. Because the Call of Duty has a nonprofit called the Call of Duty Endowment that helps raise money for veterans and help them with their career transition. And so, it was super fun to kind of work with a bunch of Twitch streamers and play the new game as it was, just during the week of release.
Did you was that with like T Martin and them?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Because they would do it every year. And I remember one year, like they didn't get invited to do it, and they were all like upset about it.
It was definitely after my time. That was definitely after my time.
Okay. Yeah. I know T Martin and all them.
That's awesome. Yeah. So that's what I was working on kind of before getting involved in Web3 stuff.
Awesome. Yeah. No, I used to play in the CWL and all that stuff. Black Ops 3 was actually like the last game that I competed in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I should have worn that shirt today. I got my Black Ops 3 shirt.
Awesome. I did want to ask about Storyverse. That was another thing on the roadmap that there wasn't really much that I could read into, but I figured I would ask you, what is Storyverse?
Yeah, Storyverse is another really cool platform, actually created by one of the founders of Zynga. So it's got a really, some really creative, forward-thinking gameplay, and it's all about kind of like creating stories from NFT collections and characters, right? And so it's really cool. It's very graphical. You can like add little like text boxes, in graphic novels or stuff. You have the like little
Speech
chat
bubbles
box.
and stuff.
Speech bubbles. Thank you. That's what it's called. Speech bubbles, right? So you can like create stories with speech bubbles, and kind of go back and forth and create all these different scenes and bring in different NFT characters. And so they started with cool cats and doodles and bored apes, and then Meebits is one of the early collections as well. That's kind of you can use in their world. And so again, another one of these just cool experiences that we're partnering with, where you can play with your NFTs, kind of tell stories with your NFTs, create cool graphics, and definitely worth checking out. It's storyverse.xyz.
Nice. And then the next thing I want to talk about is you have the Mvox token. What is MBBT?
Cool. Yeah. There's just so much to talk about here, right? It's like it's overwhelming, right? There's too many things. If anybody's following all of this, but like literally my steering committee doesn't have all of this in their head. This is like a test. Like, Danny, can you name every single partnership that you've had? How it works. So far, I think I'm doing it right.
You're doing great.
So, okay. MBBT is cool, right? So the Meebit floor now is about 5 ETH or so. It's kind of fluctuated between 4 and up to 7.5, 8. But it's about 5 ETH, right?
Yeah.
We've been talking about all this cool utility that exists within Meebits, different things you can do with them, ways that you can like use them in different metaverse games. It's possible though that like 5 ETH is too pricey for you to get in on the floor Meebit, and I would totally understand that, right? I don't even have that liquidity right now. What we did is we created MBBT, which is a pool of 92 Meebits, and we fractionalized the pool into 100,000 MBBT tokens. It's an ERC20 token, and so you can buy 10 MBBT or 100 MBBT, and it gives you basically exposure to the NFT collection, to the Meebits collection. And there's often an arbitrage between kind of the price of the underlying assets in the pool and what the cost of the MBBT is, which is also very interesting to kind of look at those two things and how they fluctuate. Over time, what we want to do is actually be able to offer MBBT holders the ability to rent the Meebits in the pool, and then essentially use them in all of this gameplay that we're talking about. And so, if there's the ability for you to kind of, only play a game if you have a certain NFT collection, right? Like a Meebit, like you'll be able to rent them from the MBBT pool and play it. And ultimately, the renting of it will generate revenue for MBBT holders over time. That could then get distributed out or be used to buy additional Meebits or anything like that. So it's a really cool kind of fractionalized ERC20 token based on a pool of Meebits.
Yeah, no, it's cool that you give people, I guess, like you said, I mean, not everyone has like $10,000 laying around to participate in an ecosystem, and it gives people a way to kind of participate without having to own a full Meebit.
Right.
So that is cool. Something that I have yet to ask, we're coming up here on the end. But obviously,
whoa, how did that go by so fast?
I know it went by so quick. But one of the big things that's happened recently, obviously, is, Yuga, the company behind Bored Ape, bought out Larva Labs. have you guys had much communication with Yuga Labs?
Yeah, totally. So they didn't buy out Larva Labs, but they bought the
IPs. I mean, I'm
yeah,
not bad.
the CryptoPunks and the Meebits
Yeah.
IP. And so, yeah, we've been in touch with Yuga Labs. They see the MeebitsDAO as a community-run organization that is really helping to create value for their IP. And so they've been super, super supportive of all of the projects that we have underway and the roadmap. Anyone who's paying attention closely will see that the founders of Yuga Labs have tweeted about Meebits recently, kind of saying that they have utility in the works for Meebits. The most explicit thing that they've said so far is that Meebits are going to be incorporated into Otherside, which is the new metaverse land that Yuga Labs just did their land drop for. And so they're rigging the Meebit voxel characters for Otherside, and we'll be able to use that in gameplay, which I'm really excited about. And then who knows what else they have kind of planned that they're not telling me about.
Awesome. So there has been communication, and like Yuga Labs is working with the Meebits. So awesome. Definitely. Awesome. Nice. Well, is there anything you feel like that I did not cover that you would like to talk about?
Well, I don't know. We got some meta moves going on right now. I can tell you about meta moves.
Let's talk about some meta moves.
Yeah, right. Because can you make your Meebit do that? Right?
No, I can't even do that in real life. So
meta moves is really cool and creative. So it kind of represents a new category of NFT, I think. Right. Which is the category would be like movement. Right. Yeah. So what they do is they're actually selling this movement that you could then map any FBX file to this movement, and you actually own the movement. Yeah. They do it through motion capture, right? So they actually have a mocap studio. They have a couple of different studios, one I think in Mexico, one in Miami, or in LA, Burbank in Los Angeles. And so they have, famous dancers and artists. For example, this one, which is Keisha, this is the Keisha dance moves. They're doing a drop right now for a 1-of-1 that's all to raise money for prosthetic limbs, which is pretty cool. Yeah. And so this is, that famous artist actually came into their mocap studio and did this dance. You can actually see on our Twitter feed the actual dance from Keisha, and then they mapped the Meebit character to that dance move. And that's what you're seeing here. So it's cool. Like what they're doing, I think is really, really interesting. You can find their stuff on Portion. Here you go. So like this is the video shoot that they did with the mocap in the mocap studio. And then they mapped all of that movement into an NFT that then gets sold, and you can add your Meebit or anything else to it.
Nice. And was any of this, I don't know if you know, but was any of this inspired by any of the issues that Fortnite has had?
What do you mean? No, I'm not sure about that.
Well, I was just gonna say, I know when you tell me this, you can actually own the dance move, and I just know Fortnite, every time they put out a popular dance move that someone creates on TikTok, they're like, dude, they just stole this person's dance and put it in their game, and now they're making money off of it.
Right. So this actually, the idea behind this is the creator of the dance move, can actually own that dance move, right? Or that dunk, right? Or whatever it is. It doesn't have to just be dance, but dance obviously makes a lot of sense for mocap.
Yeah, no, that's literally what I thought of. I was like, dude, this is all these people that hate NFTs. I'm like, if you would have just told them hey, they could have been getting paid from those dance moves, they'd be like, oh, maybe I would have liked that dance move, or I would have liked NFTs. I mean,
all right. This is now the rapid. I want to say a couple more things right here at the end. Okay. So, one cool thing that the MeebitsDAO is doing is we're going to be releasing a collection of shoes, or what we're calling Meebits kicks. Okay. Meebits, they have legs, they have feet, they have shoes, right? Unlike many different NFT collections. And the shoes are really cool, right? There's actually 73 different pairs of shoes that the Meebits wear. And so what we're doing is we're isolating the voxel shoes and going to do a free claim for all Meebit holders so that you can claim the NFT of your shoes. And then in the future, we'll have additional utility, right? We'll create Decentraland version of these shoes, or maybe in for Sandbox or that kind of thing. And it becomes a wearable unto itself that you could then either sell or use on other avatars and things like that. And that's actually the first step, because what we're going to then be creating is a whole derivative collection called Meebits to go along with your Meebits, kind of in the same style of Meebits. Yeah. And the shoes you'll be able to put your shoes on your Meebit, right? So basically your Meebit and your Meebit will be, rocking the same shoes.
Could be matching.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. I mean, yeah, I guess there aren't really a whole lot of collections that are the full body. I mean, yeah, there are a lot of them.
I think this is the first time this is getting displayed. No one's ever seen this before.
Oh, let's go. A little bit of alpha.
Little alpha right here for the SandStorm community. This is an example of the Meebits Kicks shoes that we're going to be releasing in the next month.
Nice. That is cool. How will people go about getting these?
It's going to be a free claim for Meebit holders, right? So if you own a Meebit, you'll be able to claim the NFT of the shoes that the Meebit wears. And it's going to be you'll be able to go to meebitskicks.com, which will redirect back to the MeebitsDAO website. And that's going to be the claim site for this. More information will be coming out about it in the next couple of weeks.
Nice. Make sure you guys join the MeebitsDAO Discord, follow them on Twitter, so you get all your information. Is there anything you feel like we didn't cover?
Probably, but I feel pretty good about what we talked about. I think we probably overloaded people with information. You're now an expert on the MeebitsDAO, probably far more than most. So.
Hey, that's what we aim to do here. I want to learn about it, and I'm sure there's viewers out there that come here every day and want to learn about new projects and just want to know what's going on and what you guys are doing. So I do really appreciate you coming on today.
Yeah, like if anybody wants to join the MeebitsDAO, you don't have to own a Meebit to join the MeebitsDAO. All it takes is just an interest in building the open metaverse and, excitement about what we're building here. You can go to meebitsdao.world, which is our website, and you can mint a token there, or you can, buy it off the secondary and OpenSea. That's cool too. And, super excited to connect with everybody. And Sharp, thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
No, thank you. And thank everyone for watching. I do really appreciate it. Hopefully you guys claimed your POAPs. We will be live again tomorrow. I want to say the Rue Troop is coming on. So make sure you guys are here. Same time, 12 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock UTC time. And hope you guys have a great rest of your Wednesday. Yeah, today's Wednesday. Have a great rest of your Wednesday.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.